Hey guys, quick video here on wholesale. Well, it might not be so quick because there's a lot of stuff to cover. I just want to go over real quick how to get started with wholesalers and what you can expect. Now, when it comes to getting started with wholesale, one thing you should understand or be aware of is that profit margins with wholesalers are usually a lot smaller than what you're going to find from doing, thrifting, or going to garage sales, or doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, private label, you name it. Wholesale typically has the smallest profit margins out of all those things I just listed off in my experience. Now, I got started with wholesale after I'd been selling on Amazon about 5 months. I jumped on board pretty quick. I placed some orders. I'll show you some examples. I'll even show you some wholesalers that I used to buy from, and if you want, you can go get signed up with them if you like. Now, a lot of people who are selling wholesale take really small margins on toys if you're looking for toys. You're talking, 10 to 20% return on investment, maybe even less. A lot of wholesalers, they make their money by signing up retailers to sell products to the consumer. So, most of them aren't too concerned with the market getting saturated. They don't really care that you sell on Amazon and that they've signed up 1,000 or 10,000 Amazon sellers who are going to sell their products on Amazon. They don't care. They buy things by the pallet, they sell it to you by the case, and in turn you sell it to the consumer, through an individual unit. So they make their money by signing you up and having you buy cases of product from them. Most of them are not concerned with the fact that you and 1,000 other Amazon sellers are buying from them and you guys are all going to be fighting for the profits on Amazon. They do not care. I've only discovered a handful of wholesalers who actually restricted the number of customers they had who sold their products on Amazon. Those are out there, but most of them could care less. So keep that in mind with wholesalers. Most of them, it's a very simple process to get set up with, guys. They just want your reseller permit. That's all they want, and they'll give you the catalog. Some will even give you the catalog before you even fill an application or turn in your reseller permit to go over. So they hand these catalogs out like candy. You just go through the catalog like everyone else, and the products are pretty much the same for everyone else in the entire country. And so, because it's easy to access, there's lots of competition. So anything that's easy is not going to be as profitable. It's the same thing if you source in a Walmart or Target. Those stores are easy to source at, and they got the same products nationwide. So, it's going to be a lot of competition. We've all experienced the race to the bottom, so you know what I'm talking about. It's no different with wholesale. A lot of people are under the impression that if you get signed up with wholesalers, you're going to make a killing because somehow it's harder to get inventory, but it's really not. It's really very easy to get set up with wholesalers. They want your business. They want you to buy products from them. And I'll just go over it real quick. So, with that long introduction out of the way, SaleWho. Now, this is a company I stumbled upon, or I should say a service I stumbled upon a while back. I'd only been selling on Amazon 4 or 5 months. I decided I wanted to dive into wholesale. I found this company. You can find reviews about this company on YouTube, so I'm not going to get too in-depth on it, but basically they list a bunch of wholesalers. They have reviews for these wholesalers. You can sort by category, toys, baby, you name it, garden, household, and you'll come up with a whole list of wholesalers that you can buy from. And you see reviews from not only the admins that run this website, but other users, customers like yourself who have purchased from them. It is a $67 a year fee, so pretty cheap. 60-day money-back guarantee, so can't really go wrong there. I did find some wholesalers through this company that I then bought products from. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't make any money off them, but this is what I used, and I did find some wholesalers off of this site, so that's one thing you can look into. Another option you can look into is when you're just researching toys on Amazon itself, on the back of every product you buy, or just about every product, is the name of the manufacturer, the wholesaler, the distributor is on the back of the product. All you have to do is a quick Google search, and you can locate the company who makes this item and look into setting up a wholesale account. Now, I just typed in plastic toys on Amazon just as an example, and what you want to look at here is just the name of the company right here. Like you can see Fun Express right here, US Toy. Let's see here, Rhode Island Novelty. I typed in Dazzling Toys as an example, and I already pulled it up. So what you do is you just take the name of the company that these toys are being made by, type it into Google, and here you go. Come to their website. If you're interested in wholesale, just click on Contact, and here you go. You got some email addresses, you got some phone numbers. This one's actually really close to where I live, And so a lot of times you can just, if the wholesaler is close enough to where you live, you can literally just go there and pick up the product. But this is a way to find wholesalers as well. So you can literally do this with any toy. It doesn't even have to be a toy. It could be something in the arts and crafts department. It could be something in the home improvement category. Anything. Let's just type in arts and crafts, for example. Okay, so now you see all these different companies right here. 4M, which I think I had set up an account with way back in the day, actually. Art 101, Melissa and Doug, Alex Toys. I mean, you can just see them right here. These are all companies you can just contact. Just type in the name into Google, go to the company's website, and contact them about setting up a wholesale account. Like I said, most of them just want a reseller permit. You know, you do have to fill out applications. I should mention that. It's pretty straightforward, though. It's basically like applying for a job. They just want to know, your name, your business name, what you're doing business as, how long you've been in business, your reseller permit number, your shipping address, billing address. You'll see things like net 30, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's very straightforward. Now, some of them are going to want more things than others. I've had some want a copy of my driver's license, business license, reseller permit. Some of them go really crazy and all out on their application process. Others don't really care. They're just like, show me reseller permit, great, you're signed up, here's our catalog, buy stuff. So it varies, but for the most part, I cannot recall ever having a single time where I was denied a wholesale account. Well, I should take that back. There are some companies out there that don't like to sell to Amazon sellers. You will encounter that if you go through enough wholesalers. They'll be like, we don't want our products being sold online, or we don't like to sell on Amazon. And you can negotiate with them if you want, try to convince them otherwise. So that will happen, but for the most part, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, every wholesaler I contacted and applied for, approved my account, even when I had just started out. So it's very simple to get set up with wholesalers, guys. I want to show you this one here. Now, this is an interesting product, and I'm kind of even embarrassed to show you guys this product page. This was my first wholesale account ever, and that's my picture there, and I'm embarrassed to show it because I actually make fun of people that have product pages like this, but I had only been selling on Amazon 5 months. I just had a light box and I put down a sheet. I didn't even Photoshop it and make it all pretty on a pure white background. But I'll tell you how I discovered this wholesaler, and this is interesting. This has to do with paying attention to your surroundings. I was at a UPS store dropping off some packages, and a lady comes in with a huge hand truck stacked full of these cases of Casey's kettle corn. And she just had tons of these things that she was shipping out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I didn't even talk to her. I just went home, looked them up on the internet, and they were literally like 10, 15 minutes away from where I live. I looked them up on Amazon. They weren't selling their product on Amazon. So I contacted them. I set up a wholesale account. I talked to the owner. I said, hey, I sell on Amazon. I see your product's not on Amazon. I'm interested in selling it on Amazon, and if I have great success with it, would you be interested in setting up an exclusivity contract with me where I'm the only one allowed to sell your product on Amazon? And he was like, yeah, sure. A lot of people don't know how to sell on Amazon. It's just a whole giant monster they don't even want to tackle. Some of them may not even be aware that that's an option. Maybe it hasn't even occurred to them. So you can set up these contracts with different wholesalers, mostly the local mom and pop ones, where you can be the only one to sell their product on Amazon and no one else will be able to come on the listing. What happened with this product here is, like I said, my first product I ever purchased, I couldn't send it into Amazon FBA because the shelf life was only 90 days, and it's a grocery item. After looking into merchant fulfilling, it turned out that it would be too expensive to ship an entire case of this stuff to, say, the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. The profit just wasn't going to be there. Not for me to be able to sell this at a competitive price because there's a lot of other kettle corns on Amazon. And after crunching all the numbers, I wound up just abandoning it. I didn't sell any, and I wound up just eating a bunch and giving a bunch of it away. But it was my first wholesale account ever. So the moral of the story is pay attention to your surroundings. I see, this kettle corn is in stores all around the area where I live. They have a website. They ship it out to other stores. And you can just look around the places where you live for products that are being sold. Now, grocery is a hard one to really turn a profit margin on. Grocery is so competitive, and the margins are usually a lot lower on grocery items. But I just wanted to show you this as an example. Another one I want to show you as an example is Aaron Baker's breakfast cookies. Now, I was buying and eating these things before they were even available on Amazon. These are made in Bellingham, Washington. I was actually living in Bellingham, Washington, going to school up there, and I'm actually currently moving back there right now as we speak. I just got a house up there. This company just started in Bellingham, Washington. Cookies were popping up in the stores locally, and now here you can see it on Amazon.com. Amazon itself is selling them. They were about $1 to $1.50 in stores, a pack of 12. I don't think you could actually probably set up a wholesale account, get these cheap enough, ship them into Amazon with all the Amazon commissions, ever make a profit. Like I said, grocery is really competitive. It's hard to compete with grocery items if you're going to set up your own wholesale account. But obviously you can see some people down here, it looks like they did. I just want to take a quick look. Now you can see, they're selling it for $30, but it looks like here comes Amazon. They're in it for $16.80. And let's look, they've been selling it for quite a while here. So you can see these guys, I'm not sure what's going on with them, but this is another example of pay attention to your surroundings. There is another product actually up in Bellingham, which I just Googled, a grocery item, where it's not for sale yet on Amazon. Now, you don't have to just focus on grocery, guys. Focus on all kinds of things, but pay attention to what's local to you. Contact those wholesalers, and make them an offer. Say, hey, I want to get started. I noticed you're not on Amazon. I'm interested in selling your product. If I have great success with it, I'll go ahead and do all the marketing. I'll pay for the advertising on Amazon. If it takes off, would you be willing to set up a contract with me where I'm the only one allowed to sell your product on Amazon? You can go that route. Alright, what I want to show you now is just some wholesalers that I have been set up with in the past. I still have wholesale accounts with them, even though I haven't ordered from them in years. Now, these companies you can set up wholesale accounts with if you wish. I found them to be highly competitive and not a lot of money to be made, so I just basically stopped ordering from them. So this first one here, Sephir, if that's how you pronounce it, they're located in New York. They do ship direct to Amazon for you. A lot of wholesalers, when you get set up with them, you can ask, hey, do you guys do direct shipping to Amazon? And a lot of them do. Some do, some don't. Some charge a fee to do that, some don't. But you can always ask. This is a distributor that will ship the products directly to Amazon for you. Because they're in New York, it's great for me because I have a lot of warehouses on the East Coast that Amazon always wants me to ship to. So this cuts down on travel time and actually makes shipping cheaper for me. Now, they have a bunch of toys. Obviously, they're a toy distributor. They will send you emails of different toys and deals they have. I will show you one item that I did purchase from them, which didn't turn out to be very profitable. So I got an email from them about Furbies that were discontinued, and they had them, and they're like, hey, here's the price. And you can see right here, these are the two different variations that I bought from them. You can see in the SKU here, or the SKU, the buy price, $29.15, and I always put the name of the company where I bought it. I just abbreviated. You can see the last time I sold it was for $41.99. And you can see in Inventory Lab here, if you plug that in, that gives me an ROI of 6%. So they had sent me an email out to all their people, everyone that buys from them, and they're like, hey guys, discontinued Furbies, which means they're not going to be made anymore. And I thought, wow, this will be great. I'll buy these Furbies. There won't be a great supply of them. And since they're discontinued Furbies, and send them in. I bought them, I sent them in, and so did everyone else. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's easy to get set up with a wholesale account. Everyone does it. So I wound up pretty much breaking even. I mean, you can see the payout here. $1.82, 6% margin. I mean, even if the price has gone up a few dollars, even if you match that price currently, you're only looking at a profit $4, 13%. And now this is typical, guys, for toys that you purchase wholesale. Guess what? You're not the only one. The whole country. Everyone's buying toys wholesale. So maybe you can find some other markets wholesale that aren't as saturated as toys, home improvement, baby, arts and crafts, garden, whatever. But this is typically the case with wholesale, is that, they make their money from selling cases of product to you guys. They don't really care that the market gets saturated. And so this is what you're going to experience. Now, moving on, Entertainment Earth just might have been the very first wholesaler that I actually got set up with besides the kettle corn, and I think it actually is. Entertainment Earth, they're a huge company. I found their prices, when it comes to wholesale, to be higher than any other wholesaler out there. The stuff that they sell their prices for wholesale, I've actually found cheaper on Amazon.com, being sold at a normal retail price than what they are selling it for wholesale. You actually have to pay. They don't ship direct to Amazon for you, at least they didn't the last time I placed an order with them, which is probably a year and a half ago. And you have to pay for shipping to your house, and then you have to pay for shipping to the Amazon warehouse. So there's another company for you guys. Again, very saturated. I did make some money off a few products, I think just because they ran out of stock and there just wasn't a lot of product. But for the most part, the same thing as before, lots of competition. Their prices are really high. Another toy company I was set up with is Underground Toys. Again, same thing, market saturated. Usually by the time I got the toys, even, looking through their catalog, I found some toys that had great margin. By the time I got the toys, it had already tanked, or by the time they got to the warehouse, 2 weeks later, the Amazon warehouse, margins were already gone. Just because, like I keep saying, it's easy to do, so everyone does it. So very small margins. Here's another one, quantum mechanics. I got set up, sold some stuff with them, and literally, I would buy stuff. By the time it got to my house a week later, wasn't even profitable anymore. It was like break even, make $1. Sold a lot of stuff from this company at a loss, just because, like I said, by the time it gets there, no money to be made. Mobius models, they ship direct to Amazon. There's like a $10 service charge for that. But none of these wholesalers that I'm showing you I currently buy from, nor have I bought from in over a year. Funko toys, Funko figures, these are actually a little over an hour away from where I live. So I can literally just go down there and buy them by the case. Didn't have a good experience with them. Set up a wholesale account, got assigned a sales rep. My first order was like a $600 order. I'm like, hey, I want these Funko toys. Sent them an email, didn't respond. Called, left a voicemail, didn't respond. I think I emailed him again, didn't respond. Like, I never even got the order to go through because my sales rep, who was terrible, never responded, which was really weird. But I tracked the toys on Amazon, and they quickly tanked anyway. So I was like, oh, God, thank God I never got $600 in Funko figures, because Amazon sells them. Every reseller out there knows that Funko figures are huge money. Everyone sources them. They usually get saturated pretty quick. So that was a relief. So those are some wholesalers out there that I have experience with. There's dozens more. I'm not going to cover every single one. There's a lot of them out there. Zoofy's Toys was another one. But they all get saturated really fast, guys. So just keep that in mind when you're doing wholesale. A couple more quick things I just want to run through real quick is Net 30. And what that is when you order product from a wholesaler, if you're set up for Net 30, you can have up to 30 days to pay for the product that you order. So if you're approved for like a $500 or $1,000 credit line, you can order $1,000 worth of product, have the product, send it in, and you don't have to pay for it for 30 days. And anytime up to that 30 days, if you want, you can call them and have them charge your card. So that's nice. You can buy on credit. A lot of wholesalers have a minimum order, usually anywhere from $200 to $500. Some don't, but most do. So keep that in mind as well. Tier pricing, and what that is the more units you buy, or the more cases that you buy, you can get a cheaper price per unit. So a lot of companies offer like tier pricing or different level of pricing. So the more you order, the cheaper you can get the item. It's usually not a huge discount. I mean, it can be anywhere, 5 to 10 cents, maybe 20 cents. It depends on the item, but you can get a discount if you actually purchase in bulk. Now, another thing you can do real quick is you can use, when you set up a wholesale account with a wholesaler, they're going to send you their catalog. Now, these catalogs will have hundreds, if not thousands, of items in it. Now, what I use to go ahead and go through these catalogs quickly is you can go to scanpower.com. They have a program there called Evaluate, where you basically just plug in the wholesale catalog, they analyze it for you, and they give it back to you, and you can sort it, and you can see what the profitable items are. So it basically does all the research for you, because you don't want to spend, it's not a good use of your time to go through hundreds or thousands of products on your own. There's other programs out there. I heard Seller Engine has one I've never used. I use ScanPower. Like I said, you just upload the catalog, it analyzes it for you, spits it back out, shows you the profit margin, the profit percentage, and basically there's all different types of settings. But that's how you want to evaluate wholesale catalogs for profits. So I hope you found this video useful, guys. I went through it pretty quick. A lot of information out there to cover, but there's already a lot of information out there on this subject. So use what you learned in this video. Do further research if you want to get set up with wholesalers. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you later.